what needs to be incorporated is really teaching people how to be disciplined. Okay? Because learning to learn. Okay? Teaching people how to learn. Because the problem we have is not that we have run out of resources or content. We have access to the best content globally. You can attend all the Stanford programming courses they have online. Okay, all the Harvard. So you literally, all the MIT OpenCourseWare programs are there. So, but are you disciplined
to be part of that?
To learn, to self-teach?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much once again for joining us at the Voices podcast. My name is Arafat, and today is a special day. Today I have someone I like so much, and I love the work he does. Today I have in the studio Mr. Alex Ntare, who is the CEO of Rwanda ICT Chamber. Today he joins us to discuss about what's going on in his institution and part of what they're doing right now. Good afternoon, CEO.
Good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
By the way, I told you earlier that I'm a big fan of you. I'm a big fan of you so much, and I love the work you do. But to someone seeing you for the first time, would you simply tell this person who is Mr. Alex, and where do you trace your career up to now, and what are you doing right now?
Thank you. My name, as you said, I'm Alex Ntare, and I currently am the CEO of the Rwanda ICT Chamber, which is the umbrella body for ICT and innovation companies in Rwanda. We have a member base of close to 600 companies and a community of more than 3,000 players, and that is both individuals as well as small businesses. So my career spans from literally from computer science. My bachelor's in computer science at Makerere University, and later on master's in investment and quantitative finance from the University of Westminster, and after which I came back to Rwanda, joined the innovation ecosystem back in 2011. And we've been trying to add a brick to the work that our leaders have been doing in Rwanda through the ICT and innovation ecosystem.
So, Mr. Alex, for someone who would love to know what is going on right now in your seat where you're working from right now, what is it that now you're working on that maybe we need to know about, that you think it's going to have some big changes that it will create in Kigali or in Rwanda?
Yeah, thank you. So for the last, 14 years plus, we've been working on laying the foundations for a digital economy. And that meant building talent, creating and working with government to put in place the right policies, the right regulations that really attract talent from across the world, but also Rwandan diaspora, wherever they are, but also build talent locally, and as well as infrastructure for the digital economy to thrive. The digital economy in the last 2 decades has demonstrated its ability to transform the world as we know it, transform industries as we know them, and those foundations are what has been going on. And where we are right now, we're looking at let me call it a permeation of digital in literally everything that we're doing. Maybe the most common ones being artificial intelligence, and that's what most people interface with, ChatGPT, for example, or Claude.ai and several other platforms. But beyond that, there's a lot of engineering work that is going into that, and that engineering work, software development, etc., takes talent, and that talent has been built, most of it locally, through universities, through high schools, and so on. So today we're looking at ICT or digital getting into every aspect of our economy, and that's what we are really working on with the different agencies, government agencies and private sector as well, private players, but more so to create opportunities for our young people, to create opportunities for our people, to expand markets for our businesses, and to see interoperability of markets in Africa and beyond.
Are there some innovations that so far makes you proud since you took over the position? Or maybe, let's not consider you as a person. Are there some innovations that are currently in Rwanda in that field that makes you proud, that you feel like even the world can really take on? And
I think the most prominent one that we are seeing is Irembo services. Okay, it's a government initiative. But it is built by Rwandans that are here. If you go there, you will see talent, over, I think, 100 and so engineers that are building government delivery of services. But also in the private sector, we've seen how digital financial services have transformed our household economics. We have seen the fact that just digital financial services with the mobile wallets, they have transcended and gone over the traditional banking world by leaps and bounds, to the extent that today we stand at 96% penetration of digital financial services versus traditional banking that is at less than 30%, at 22%. So, meaning that these immediately touch our pockets. They touch our livelihoods. Whether it is saving money from a trip that I would have made to Kayonza or to Nyagatare to take to take money for maybe buying salt or buying whatever, or paying school fees. When that money is saved in my pocket, it's as good as earning it. Okay, because instead of using 3,000, 5,000 francs, I've only paid 500 francs. But imagine the number of services which now at more than 100 or more than 200 on Irembo that are demanded and used by citizens digitally, cutting down time that it used to spend. Just think about land transfer. Okay, land transfer would, besides a minimum of 4 trips, for example, back and forth, going, negotiating, and so on. Today, you do your land transfer, and it's within a week or two. Is something, if not, you may even get it within a couple of days. You have your land title, and it is traceable, it's verifiable, and there is minimal interference for fraud. If anyone is selling you a piece of land, you can verify it digitally and confirm anything that is on it. So there's a lot of value capture, value returned to the citizen, and that for me is what makes me proud to be part of this sector, because it is in our day-to-day lives, but silent, quiet. It's soft.
Why is
because
it?
we don't see it. Because
Why?
it's
Why?
not.
Because that's really
It's not like a
key.
building.
It's a key point. You're raising
It is
something
not
very
like
key.
a building. In some cases, for a road, we see it. We know the bridge in Chitrichiro.
I like that.
Yeah, the flyover in Chitrichiro, you can see it. But this transfer of money, or this digital service, property transfer, or Chamunara, for example, where now people who are banks or financial institutions that are trying to recover money, where they host auctions. So these things are in we call it the intangible. They are in the intangible economy. But being in the intangible economy does not make them any lesser than the things that are in the tangible economy, where you're saying, I can touch this building, or I can touch this road, I can touch this tank of water, I can touch this electric pole. Okay, so it is very important infrastructure that is in our day-to-day lives. It is soft, but being soft doesn't make it insignificant. It's actually the fuel that is running our lives.
Do you feel not at ease when people don't really appreciate the work you people do, or the results of what those brings?
No, it's not that I don't
Because
feel
now
at ease.
I believe when people don't really value, like you say, people can value the bridge because they can see it. I tend to think myself, I feel like people don't really give it the value it requires yet. And at the end also it leads to not valuing what that can provide. I don't know whether you get it.
It is. I don't blame them. It's not that I feel bad, but rather it's sometimes it's upon us, the communicators, the people that communicate ourselves, to be able to communicate the value. And we're not all going to get there at the same time. Okay, so I know, for example, where we started off, when all this work was being done, some of the global institutions questioning why His Excellency was deciding to invest in fiber optic across the country, why he was deciding to invest in one laptop per child and laptops at schools, when actually there were other seemingly more pertinent challenges that the country was going through. No, I don't blame people. I think it is a journey for all of us to communicate this value, the value to understand that when I log onto Irembo to apply for a driving license, when I log into, say, the rural platform to apply for a license, permit to do something,
operated transport or something.
When I apply, when I'm buying electricity on my mobile phone, and I don't have to get out of the house in the middle of the night to go look for a voucher that we used to get, to go look for a cash power voucher. So that value, it's hard, and it takes time for people to appreciate it until they have to live without it, until it's missing, until we say, oh, sorry, the internet is not working, and that's why you cannot withdraw your money, or the network is down. So and when they are in a rush, and then they realize, oh, hold on a second, our lives are now so dependent on this.
Seriously, you talked about electricity. I like that thing. There are times when you're at home, maybe at 10 or 11 in the night, and it goes off because you didn't anticipate whether it's still on or not.
You're not watching the meter.
You're not watching the meter. And then you just know that in a second you will have electricity.
You'll be back.
You'll be back on. So that's really very nice.
And they work from home. Imagine COVID-19 and how people just seamlessly flowed into work from home. At least a good majority of people, and continue to work despite the fact that everywhere else the roads were closed and there was no transport, but life continued. So
Alex, Rwanda, when you speak to so many different international people who come here to visit, or maybe who are new to Rwanda, they love the way, digital transformation has really happened in Rwanda. And to me, I think Rwanda has become a case study for digital transformation. What do you think is leading to this, or what do you think led to this? What is that core thing that you can stress out that has led to what we are seeing? Everything is now, I've spent just like 7 months now without going to the bank. I've not gone to the bank for 7 months now, I think. I just do everything on my phone.
Yeah.
And remember, even if I have cash, I just got mobile money. I tell them, put this money on my account, and then I can transfer it to my bank account.
Yeah.
So I don't need to visit the bank at all. What do you think is leading this into what we are seeing?
So the key fundamental thing is leadership. And that is the leadership at the top. His Excellency took key decisions, to make sure that he puts in place the right foundations, like the example I was giving of laying fiber across. But even before that, in 1998 or 99, when they transformed Camp Kigali, what used to be a military base, into an education institution, into the Kigali Institute of Science and Technology, that then started training engineers, scientists, and so on. So that level of leadership and that level of buy-in is fundamental, because that was the foundation. Otherwise, how do you build a science-based economy without scientists? How do you build a knowledge-based economy without knowledge? So putting in place, taking decisions for the right investments. So the right investments were made, but those right investments were decisions that were made deliberately by our leadership. And that's what I think every Rwandan needs to be very proud of, to have a leader that can see that far. Recently, a friend of mine was posting that a leader must be visionary, a leader must be, and honestly, it just seemed like a leader must be a prophet. It's like you have to have some level of prophetic view of things that you can see where other people can't see,
really?
And put the right preparations in place. And I think that's what has built up to where we are today.
Recently, you've talked about Rwanda tapping into the space economy to boost its ICT sector. How do you envision space technologies reshaping Africa's digital, infrastructure? And what do you think is still lacking in that field? Because it looks like we are not doing much in there.
Yeah, Africa has lagged in this sense, in the space economy itself. So whether it's the downstream or the upstream, you're talking about rocketry and satellites in the sky, or downstream where now we're saying, okay, we have infrastructure like ground stations or analytics, taking advantage of data that is coming from the sky and so on, and analyzing it to improve the life on Earth, because life on Earth is being improved by research and work that is targeting life outside the Earth. And that's where we have technologies like GPS, global positioning systems, and several other versions of it in the Eastern Asia, or even in Europe, is where we get our geolocation services, our telematics, being able to know that I'm heading, like you sent me a pin of this location, okay, to come here. So that is leveraging space technologies. And so for Africa, we have been, for most part, we have been on the consumption side, okay? So for the producers of the phone, we buy, we use, even connectivity is a space technology, because satellite technology is what was giving us that's what powers most of the mobile connectivity networks. So in that sense, we've been mostly on the consumption side. And what Rwanda, again, that visionary leadership, again, 2017, 2016, when His Excellency started, asking the sector leadership to begin thinking around about space, saying we need to be exploring to see how do we begin tap into how do we start tapping into space, and that opened up opportunities. But let me maybe come back to where opportunities are for us. One, yes, we saw that our young people in 2019 were able to work with some scientists, Japanese scientists, to launch a satellite, a cube or a micro satellite in space. And that means that rocket science and all this complicated stuff is not out of reach. So it proved that, yes, we can do it. And today we see that we have a space agency, the Rwanda Space Agency, and the team there that are now developing and building solutions for emergency management, okay, for forecasting even this kind of disaster management challenges, but also tapping into looking at the agriculture sector. How do we better improve our farming practices? What can we learn from weather stations? How can we improve predictability of in terms of weather stations and the weather information that feeds into the rest of the agriculture space? But we also know that the environment is a big is a upcoming sector, and we have seen again, including some of our ministers that have been working at the forefront of research in the environment space. Okay, working, I think, with MIT. They've deployed some technologies, space-based technologies in the Virunga mountains, but also in the conservation space. So this is now getting away a little bit from just consumption, but becoming also coming in at the point of production. Now, urban planners, remote sensing, all these areas where we're seeing that, okay, so we can actually produce a very competitive telematics company or telematics business in Rwanda. Yes, because our engineers are able and
so
are smart enough to build.
Simply, what you're trying to mean is that currently what is being done is to come up with projects that actually can be consumed locally before we think of what we can put outside.
I mean, we put it outside, but we consume it. We build those solutions ourselves
that we can consume and as well sell out.
Yes. So today, the engineers in these companies or in these organizations are building them. If you talk to the likes of Caris, which is a drone, one of the leading drone companies in Rwanda, is building infrastructure monitoring technologies, both the drone technologies, but also space technologies in data analytics. They are helping in the health sector. Okay, again, leveraging both technologies. So these are really emerging, more or less emerging technologies that are being built by Rwandan companies, Rwandan talent, and it makes us so proud.
I see you a lot motivating young startups. I think you do like young startups. You like people who are into that field so much, and you're doing a lot of work. I see that. But this brings me to my next question, that what are some of the main challenges that you still see if we are to be specific in the ICT sector, that younger startups are facing now in Rwanda, that perhaps it looks to be like something blocking them from, continuing to pursue what they envision?
It's the willingness to collaborate, the willingness to work together, a willingness to bring multi-disciplines to solving a problem. Okay, so that's one. And that disciplinary approach helps in solving the main challenge, which is domain expertise, a lack of domain expertise. Our young people, most of them are inexposed, they're not very exposed, they are not very experienced because, again, they've not done this in many places. They've only maybe sometimes come from school or they're still at university, and they've not worked they don't have many years of experience, later on having seen some of the things that they want to solved somewhere else. So there's probably things they've seen online, or read in research papers, or just a problem they are solving from a point of empathy that they feel bad about this and so they want to solve it, but really don't have the deep knowledge in that particular sector to solve it. Let me give an example. So there are many that will come and say they're building fintech solutions. But then once you've looked at the solution, you realize that it's actually just a payment a problem that they are solving. They're not solving the more underlying issues. Maybe if it was a payment for the mobility space, okay, or let's even think in the medical space. You'll find a lot working around information systems, not just in medical, in most of them. So find that there's still a disconnect between the hard problems, the hard challenges, and those challenges cannot just be solved by one skill set or one knowledge base. You need to add multiple skills, multiple knowledge bases, tap into multiple knowledge bases
come up
in order to solve one problem holistically. Yeah, so not just feature, have a solution that maybe helps people to book an appointment.
So simply what you're trying to say is that so many young people are looking to say, I own a startup company, I'm coming up with a startup company to do ABCD, yet there's also someone else who is doing exactly close to what you're doing. You would come together and solve that problem as one. Yes. Instead of you coming up and the other one coming up.
You solve a bigger problem.
You solve a bigger problem.
Because you're building a feature that probably could have worked in another, in a bigger product. We have this these phones that we're using. You can see they have multiple technologies in there. Samsung, although they compete with Apple, they make the screens. Apple sources the screens from Samsung. It sources the battery from, say, Panasonic or from someone else. Okay, they source. So you'll find that there are multiple
partnerships
that they have created in order to build a global leading product.
I see that. So what are you telling them to do?
We're encouraging them. We're telling them that one man can't. You can't build just one thing. You can't build features and think you're building a product. You need to collaborate. You need to explore more knowledge bases and tap into colleagues.
So I think there's one thing I wanted to ask you about. You have expertise in software development to financial services. I mean, I think in London.
Yes, I have some knowledge. I don't think that now is the pace at which ICT grows. I don't think I'm that big of an expert.
Okay. Yeah. So just to finalize our conversation today, I want you to tell us tell young people out there that are maybe still at school or they've just graduated and they want to become problem solvers, because ICT is where we are headed. You talked about ChatGPT, OpenAI, and this guy Sam, who founded
Altman,
OpenAI,
yes. Sam Altman.
yes, became rich. I think the first month he did it. What would you tell a young man in Rwanda who envisions Sam Altman, who wants to be like him?
So Sam Altman.
Are those opportunities really there with the education system we have, with what we have already here?
So you need to put in the work. Okay. So we see the glory. We see maybe in a boxing ring, that an analogy. You see someone punching the other, a knockout within 10 seconds of the match, of the game, yeah, and you think it just happened like that. No, they've been training, they've been working, they've been preparing. So overnight success is made of nights, sleepless nights, okay, of preparation. So there's nothing like self-made. There's nothing like overnight success. There's none of that stuff exists. Everyone is either putting the work, being prepared consciously or unconsciously. There's a book out there called, I think I've forgotten, but it's by Malcolm Gladwell. It says to become an expert at anything, you need 10,000 hours. Yeah, 10,000 hours is nearly 3.5 years, okay, of work, okay. And he has, if people, Outliers, that's the name of the book. If they go and read it, I think it would give a better foundation. But what I would say, try to become an expert of a domain. If it's farming, if it's agriculture, become an expert in that space. If it is medicine, try to understand as much as you can medicine. ChatGPT may help to give you answers for some of these things, but if you don't know if you cannot tell whether what it's giving you is correct or not, you're going to be wrong anyway.
Talk about that. Because so many people today, even my friends, you ask them something, they just look at ChatGPT, they think what it's going to give is automatically right.
Yeah.
And so many people now are doing writings using ChatGPT. Be it proposals,
you're
be
not
it
gonna
press
stop
releases.
that. Yeah.
So many things are using that. So what are the challenges that is bringing?
It's going to numb our thinking and weaken our brain power if we don't connect it to if we don't build disciplines, the right disciplines to actually, in Kinyarwanda they say nichiyobya bwenge. So it can easily become
addicted to it.
Addicted. The same way people are addicted to social media and use it for all sorts of things. So it can numb your thinking. So the best thing to do is to develop right habits. I know we cannot exhaust the topic on your podcast today.
No, I know for sure, but talk about that.
There has to be disciplines.
Give someone, as an expert, give someone an advice. Let's say someone who is going to listen to watch this, who is addicted to ChatGPT or DeepSeek or these others that are coming up right now. Because it's now even people who are doing graphics, even people who used to do good graphics, nowadays they don't have time to do that. They will go to Canva and then they will find an already put design where they were just going to put their whatever they want to put there and then come up with their final product. What would you advise someone who is really addicted to ChatGPT or DeepSeek?
It's fine to be addicted to these things as long as you know how to control and how to manage yourself. It's discipline. It comes back to discipline. So these are tools. Okay, I won't say someone is addicted to driving cars or to riding bikes. Okay,
You're right.
because a car will take you somewhere.
You're right.
Okay, you can't say, I'm going to be walking because
I don't want to be addicted to the car.
I don't want to be addicted to a car. It's a tool, it's a resource to take me somewhere. So AI is a tool to take us somewhere, but you need to know where you want to go. You need to have a clear roadmap of where you want to go. And if you're not sure where you want to go, it will take you wherever. And it will end up destroying your competencies, because now you're no longer thinking. You just resort to
what can think for
AI. You. Yeah.
Yes.
You're outsourcing your thinking.
I get it. So I asked you about education, and maybe you didn't see that.
Our education system.
How about in the ICT sector? Like, what is it that you see that needs to be incorporated in our academic?
What
or
needs
maybe
to be
what you're doing now?
What needs to be incorporated is really teaching people how to be disciplined. Okay, because learning to learn. Okay. Teaching people how to learn, because the problem we have is not that we have run out of resources or content. We have access to the best content globally. You can attend all the Stanford programming courses they have online. Okay, all the Harvard. So you literally, all the MIT OpenCourseWare programs are there. So, but are you disciplined
To be part of that?
To learn, to self-teach? Okay, so schools, unfortunately, may be getting these young people too late. So it also means that parents need to play their role in
What do you mean?
this. If you are already in discipline by the time you're at university or by the time you're in high school, and you can't be corrected,
at high school,
at high school, so it's gonna be too late for you to learn how to learn, because some things you need to unlearn some bad habits and relearn some good habits, the habits that help you become a champion, the habits that help you really be in control of your life. Because today that's what's missing with some of our young people. This afternoon, just as I was coming, I was talking to one of my colleagues, and she was telling me how in one of these competitions they are running, people that have been part of a 2 months plus program can't do very basic things, because it's a program that is self-driven. It doesn't, that has no one is over your head trying to beat you, no. So, but because there was no one watching over them, they've just clicked through the content and they've learned nothing.
That's very deep. That's very deep.
So I think that's the issue.
Oh, that's why so many people nowadays.
And they blame it on teachers. The issue is not teachers. The issue is and people who post and say our education system. The issue is not just that our teachers no. You have the best teachers online. You have access to the internet.
So you can't blame the teacher you have in
class.
You
can't have
because you have best teachers online. Yeah. Use them. And sometimes they are for free.
Yes, and most of the time on YouTube they are free.
Most of the time they are free. Yeah. And you find that the discipline is what making us fail.
So that's what's
so discipline has to be incorporated in education, whether you want it or not. That will be
Yeah,
part of
and
that.
people say, then they start claiming abuse, it's too hard. But honestly, I think that's why we need to fix things.
Okay, so what do you think I've left behind that you wanted us? Maybe you want some people to know about what
They
is
should
going
know
on.
about the work you're doing and how.
They will see the work through your conversation, of course. But
They should know that we need more of your voices. We need people to educate our communities so that this thing it takes a whole village. Okay, it takes a whole village to understand the value digital technologies bring to us. It takes the whole village to explain to someone when they are charged a transaction fee, to know that, the company that is processing that actually also needs to survive, so that they can pay their employees, and they're saving you way more money than they are taking from you. For example, if it's instead of paying school fees with going to the school with the cash, you're paying it digitally. That is helping if is for the hospital fees or even electricity and other utilities, whatever it is. It takes all of us to explain to people that it is creating a lot of value.
there's one thing I want you to talk about before we sign out.
Yes.
You talked about that parents, we are not doing our roles. Because, I'm a parent, maybe someone else is a parent who's listening, watching. And how do we bring this discipline of self-monitoring on everything that we do? Because you say it should be starting down.
Yeah, it should start at home.
It should not start at when someone is going to high school. How should parents really, if you have some tips you can share?
Unfortunately, I'm not yet a parent, but but what I can say is that the Bible puts it this way, that train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. Okay, so when you train up a child in the right, with the right principles, with the right character, okay, they will not depart from it when they're old. They will remember. They will always come back to that, and those formative years, okay, when the right disciplines are taught. I think that's what helps all of us to make sure that we don't retract. That hard work is necessary. Being whatever the several values, okay, building a value system that is built on faith, for example, okay, so that someone has a reference point, a child has a reference point.
That I was told this by dad.
Yes,
I shouldn't go off
I
it.
shouldn't. In the values of our country, our culture has strong values. Gukunda igihugu, gukunda umurimo, okay, ubumwe. So all these president has taught us to think big, to be accountable, okay, and to stick together, to work together. So these are value systems that help us. And if people know that by waking up early, putting in the time, by studying, taking that translates into loving my country, okay, into building my country. Then if I love my work, if I build a work ethic that is that
Discipline,
yes,
that has discipline.
those disciplines, those values, if they learn that, then it's going to be it's going to be for all of us. So we're going to build a generation, we're going to create rather a generation of builders. So those that build lives of others, that build character, that build systems. Okay, so I think that's about that's about it. That's what I can tell parents. Okay.
How does your day look like? How does your day look like
Ah,
as
my
you sign
day-
out? As a CEO, maybe, some people have different, days on how they go at work or that. How is your day at work?
I wake up, I wake up, I pray, and start working. And jump on Zoom calls with my team, check in with the teams,
Okay.
and we start our morning calls, and then we can go into physical meetings with our partners, with friends, with members.
Thank you so much for really turning up on this podcast.
Thank you.
And I like that you've really you've talked about all the questions I've asked, and I hope next time when I need you for something that is coming up, I'll
Always, please call me, buzz me.
Okay,
You
cool.
have my number.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a
Thank you
pleasure
so
for
much.
sure. We don't take this
It's
for
an honor.
granted.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for the work that you're doing. It's impressive.
Thank you.